Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Game 2 of this best of 3 non-qualifier finals between Arispici and madewokherd. Just a quick recap, Arispici did take Game 1, and again, this is Game 2 of the best of 3. So I'm looking forward to this race tonight. Alongside me tonight in the commentary booth, I'm Siberian Bull 9, and with me is LV Creed.
How's it going, everyone? Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of an interesting scenario here. Once again, we got Arispici, madewokherd in the grand finals of this non-qualifier tournament side matchup. So we already had game 1 earlier where Arispici pretty much just manhandled madewokherd, and madewokherd just hoping to recover from that loss and play a much more stable game. But Ari's a tough one. Probably gonna have to hope for some mistakes on Ari's and for Ewok to get themselves get themselves ready to hopefully get us another match.
Yep, and I'm gonna make sure our runners are in the room already. But once again, we are this season have a charity towards Save the Children or Feed the Children. I forget which one.
Yes, Save the Children. I'm gonna put it up for the people in chat right now. So yes, for those that are unaware, we are helping for charity for Save the Children. You can do the Tiltify link and you can donate from there. We're also hoping to add for a little prize pool for our competitors, not only for the current main bracket, but also a little bit of that pot's going to go to the winner of this grand finals match as well. Just a little bit of the pot. If you put in the code for MM2R21, that code, that Matcherino code, you put in a free 50 cents to put into that prize pool. So if you feel a little bit contributive, you can do that one for free. So once again, we're just waiting for our runners to get set up, and it looks like our boys are ready. So we're just waiting for the go ahead, and we should be counting ourselves down.
Yep, just at a quick step aside for a moment there. Looks like our runners are set and ready. They have been given the green light, and they should be heading off here in a moment here.
So for those that aren't familiar with what's going on, at least for the non-qualifier brackets, the rule set is fixed and is set throughout the entire tournament, which is going to be easy mode, stage reveal names. It technically is going to be pure 80%, so zips are allowed, but of course it's not necessary and not required. So we're going to see how our runners going to adapt to the rule set, if they want to do zips or not, and we are officially on our way.
Yeah, but it looks like both our runners are choosing Quickman as their first stage to go through. As on the top left, I saw Flashman on the top right, so I would not be surprised if they end up going there next.
So in regards to the routing, of course, since stage names are revealed, you're pretty much going to see a bit of a set path as we get some good old Mega Man 2 Wily 1 in Quickman stage. It's pretty much going to be, you're probably going to see, ooh. We're talking about potential mistakes. That's a pretty good one to start off with. Well, a bad one in Ari's case, but a good one for Ewok.
Yeah. Well, those Mech Joes aren't exactly friendly either, given, I believe 10 dots of damage, so getting Quick Beam doesn't help either.
And the Buckies, they are Buster immune.
Fantastic. I'm glad I'm not running this seed.
This is painful right from the get-go. Holy crap. But there we go.
Oh, poor madewokherd. The PP's deleted his health drop.
I was just about to say he left a little friendly little dropping for him, but the PP, as soon as it left, this is... Well,
right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you hate to see it because pretty much it's a spread of overload at that point. You know, all the PBs on screen, and then there goes your health drops. Like, come on, I could have used that.
Didn't help that Ewok wound up getting beamed himself, so the slight advantage that he could have had was pretty much canceled out, and Ari's just taking that early little advantage yet again. So hopefully Ewok can continue to keep themselves composed and finish off hard, because I'm pretty sure Ari is not going to give much of an inch as far as if he gets the lead and continues to have it.
Yeah, looks like it was two-shot chickens there.
Alright, so who's going to be first in quick room?
And looks like we got a Metal Man sighting in Quick Manzer.
And look like he's a durable boy, but once again, Metal Man's not too hard of a Robot Master to deal with. A little bit of a spammy boy, but yeah, nothing that Ari couldn't handle. As yep, Ari takes it down, and that's one Robot Master down. Man, he was probably he's gonna wind up taking a death. Does he have good?
And also gonna get item 3 out of this Quick Man stage. As we see Arispici moving on to Flashman stage next. Looks like they picked up, I believe that was Leaf Shield.
Ewok getting themselves a good kill on Metal, keeping pace with Ari. Ari going to Flashman, which, as you would expect, be the second Robot Master. Once again, when you get revealed stage names, the routing is usually set. Ewok deciding to go to Bubble Man stage instead of Flash.
Unless you're a madman like me and go to Metal first.
Well, to be fair, Metal First isn't that bad of a starting point, if only for the 2 E-tanks that you could potentially get. But if you're doing zips, you're going to be missing potential zipping opportunities. And of course, with item 2 out in the wings, that long stretch towards the end of Metal, you're pretty much usually wanting to save Metal a little later after having those items. Meanwhile, the Fan Fiends keeping Ari at bay and just couldn't stay up top, so no free
Yeah. Yeah, seeing the Metal, the second Fan Fiend where it was, it definitely would have made it a little more difficult to get that E-Tank. So Arispici is going to have to forego that E-Tank, but he's going to reach the boss door here in Flash Room, and we'll find out here as madewokherd's going through the Grape Drink of Bubble Man stage.
Airman having a very short pattern, one tornado and do small jumps, pretty much makes himself easy pickings for Ari, who just takes him out very quickly. And now, following Ewok's footsteps into Bubble.
Yeah, that's definitely what I would call a Burrow Airman. Looks like madewokherd's putting this Leaf Shield to good use. He's low on energy right now, though, but he is putting it to use. Yeah, and he's doing the right thing, being cautious. Anytime I see Shrimp, I kind of just want to wait to see if it's a battery or not. And what I mean by that is sometimes in the vanilla game, there's usually these giant fish in this stage, and they tend to send out 2 Shrimp when they're on stage, but only 2. So you kind of just got to sit there and wait to see if a second one comes in. Otherwise, you're taking a bit of a fall.
And so the Vanilla Boatman signing in his own room.
Oh no, he's a Huggles. He just wants a hug.
Yeah, but Ewok doesn't want that hug, and this could be trouble for Ewok. Oh, good. Got one more chance to try to take out this very, very non-COVID safe Bubble Man here. Social distancing is obviously not in the cards for this Robot Master. Obvious jokes aside.
Ari did get the bubble zip, the Buster only bubble zip, but this Bubble Man's going to give madewokherd a bit of trouble, looks like, and I don't think there we go. And just like that, Arispici did not listen to what I said earlier, but it's a good thing because he shouldn't be screen sniping.
I think it was really unfortunate that the Leaf Shield wound up being an immunity for Bubble Man. Leaf Shield definitely would have helped keep Bubble Man at bay and continue to just rack on damage. But unfortunately, that was not the case, and we got a double game over in here. Mad Ewok on Bubble, already having trouble with Bubble stage. So
Yeah.
very
All right.
interesting, very interesting sea shenanigans here.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. Crab literally jumped right back up on the belt. I'm coming for you, Matty Walker. No, Ari ended up bonking his head on the spikes as he was trying to do basically zipless strat jumps in the spike section.
So anyway, some new territory for Ewok Herd as they're going straight into Metal Man stage. A little bit of a crowded metal, but nothing that Ewok Herd can handle. We're already at the midpoint. Hopefully I was gonna say hopefully it's gonna be a little friendly, but now we're seeing fanfare.
I hope he knows about pause buffering when he gets to the latter half.
Well, he's using the pause buffering now, but fanfiends, and as we saw earlier in Quickman stage, I believe we had Buster Immune Joes.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about, because we've done enough of these seeds where we know where that fan feed's going to be, and if Matty Ewok's herd's not careful here in a moment, he could be just taking a dip into the pit here.
I can respect this, but it's gonna be pretty hard to get the buffer if... Yep. It's gonna be pretty much impossible to... Wait, will it prove me wrong?
He got it.
Wow, just barely. That is an extremely difficult pause buffer to do from that height, because you have such a low ceiling in order to make that jump, and making a very small pause buffer error pretty much just ends you. Very well done with the pause buffering on Ewok's end.
Yeah, not to mention that fan feed being in the win, so that was clutch. Meanwhile, Ari does take down the Huggles in Bubble Man's room. And we got Heat Man on the conveyor belt. Man, this could be a tough one for Matt Ewok. Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be a standard Heat Man. This one you don't want to see standard Heat Man. You kind of want to either see the slow burn or super atomic Heat Man.
What you really want to see is the Heat Man that you can actually use some weaknesses on, because this is going to be a very slow heat fight dealing with the minimal amount of damage to him. But Ewok has 2 E-Tanks to burn through. I'm pretty sure they can continue to take hits if need be, but always have a E-Tank just in reserve, just in case. Meanwhile, Ari's going to Wood. Lee Shield ain't working on the dogs, but ooh, we got a sense of pretty good atomic fire in this one, supercharged.
Yeah, that's kind of the atomic fire I like to see. Looks like it's a standard. Looks like it's doing two dots per shot. So whether he uses it the rest of the stage, we'll see. Nub's going back to Buster. Okay.
And for Ewok's trouble, he finds himself an item too, so that's a pretty solid find on Ewoks, and pretty much good for any long stretch of stages where it could get really ugly. Of course, there's also that ignoring the Yoku blocks in Heatman stage if necessary.
Looks like the Leaf Shield can take down our tin cans this seed, but as we already saw on Arispici's side, it's not going to work on the hot dogs here, so he's going to have to find a different weapon.
Taking care of our grayscale Joseph there. I'm probably not going to forget when you say that for some reason, it's that particular one that always sees gray. Don't know why.
I don't know why either, and also in Wily 3 in the first elongated room there. It's probably something in the code. Anyway, yeah, we're coming up to the Woodman room where we got ourselves a quick man, and this should be relatively, yeah.
Yeah, but Buster's soft, weak, quick, and as fast as he moves, he's just as quick as being dead. No items still have yet to find item 3, but right now, Ewok's still pretty much on the driver's seat as far as. Oh wait, item 3 was found. I'm thinking item 1. Item 1 still has yet to be found.
Yeah, well, he's gonna find item 2 here, as Maddie Walker did earlier. So item 1 could be in one of our whammy stages, which, you know, it's typical almost. If I was in Ari's shoes, obviously Airman would be next, but we'd probably end up going to Heatman before we go to Crash, hoping for that item 1.
So as we pretty much just returning footsteps, once again, this is LV creating Siberian Bull 9 here, doing this Mega Man 2 Randomizer non-qualifier grand final. Match 2, we had match 1 a few days ago, and now we're doing game 2 now. Of course, if this does somehow get to a game 3, I have been told that game 3 will also be on another day, just to let everyone know. So keep your eye on the Speed Gaming Network of channels to keep all the track of not only of this upcoming match if it does reach to a game 3, but our actual qualifier matches that's going to continue to take place, especially on Saturday, as Ari does recognize the fans in metal, and Ewok taking a death on Quick.
Yeah, he was low on health, and I believe the Heatman fight took all those E-Tanks. I don't know if he has any E-Tanks left, but it should be good enough as is for Matt Ewok to take down this Quick Man. Yep, there we go. And Heat's not working on this Heatman. We already know that he's not Buster Soft. How about Air? That didn't look like it hit. We know it's not Leave, so how about Quick? Not Quick. Oh boy.
So Ari's gonna have to deal with the same slow heat as Ewok did. So not much time gained for Ari to extend his lead.
I'm willing to bet this Heat's weak to Flash. As pretty much in this game, Flash only works on one Robot Master, and I'm going to imagine it's this Heatman.
He's a very strong contender for it, but we still have weapons out there that still need to be found and tested. Hopefully it's not that Flash.
But there goes Heatman, as Arispici is going to get his item 2 now. We got madewokherd making their way through Flashman stage. We do know there's fan fiends at the end of this Flashman stage, so he's got to stay on his item 2. And Arispici choosing to go to Heatman next.
Well, he does have the keys to at least make the second half faster, assuming he know. Oh boy, looks like we got some hard air siding here.
Yeah, looks like the fan fiends are going to give our boys some trouble this season, just for the entire time. You know, was hoping to have a nice one, but nope, not tonight.
Well, look like we might have a baby. We haven't seen another fan fiend in Heat in this first stretch of Heat for the remainder. Okay. Well, guess Ari's gonna do his own work for him, so...
Guess Ari found the banana peel.
Ewok taking on this Airman who's definitely pretty bro-like thanks to his simple patterns. So Ewok getting themselves another notch on the Robot Master belt. Still keeping pace.
I will say that I want to see what it looks like when we get to refights, because I don't know about the pattern itself, but the fact that it's one shot and jump, it's still pro enough. And there goes madewokherd into Airman stage.
In Yellow Skies right now, it looks very tame. Airman being one of those stages where things can go really, really ugly if the wrong enemy
was that
to be around.
I thought that was a bird for a moment there in Airman stage. Like, uh-oh.
Don't.
No, it was a baton.
Don't do it.
Never mind.
Ari, don't do it.
Don't do it. That's a soft lock. That's a soft lock.
I think Ari's going to continue to try, but this is going to be really bad if he tries it. in this case, it'll be to Ari's best interest, hopefully, to actually fail this. Because the problem is the zip speed when doing the item 3 is actually going to be canceled by the blowing effect of the fan fiends. And if that winds up happening, you're going to wind up staying in place.
Thank goodness.
It's one of those situations where thank goodness for actual bad execution to save your life rather than being actually good at it.
Alright, so if I was in Ari's case right now, this is where you put down that item 2 to use it as a step to get to the next spot. And oh boy, quick boomerang shenanigans.
Meanwhile, we got a very jumpy crash in air stage, but he's a soft boy, pretty much just taken out really easily by the Buster. So Mad Ewok gives himself another notch and finds item 1 to boot. Definitely could be useful in Heatman stage right about now.
There we go. Ari's making it around. He should be good. He should have enough item 2 to make the rest of the stretch. Meanwhile, and Mad Ewalker is going to give Bubble Man stage another try.
Hopefully with some extra items and weapons, they can make this return trip a little bit more workable.
Definitely on the weapon side, because we know wood was not an option against the Bubble Man.
Alright, Ari's coming up to the Heatman room. Got a small number of Robot Masters to choose from, so about to knock one of them out right now. And
I think it's Metal.
No.
Or Flash. No, it's Flash. Oh, Metal wasn't quick. Never mind. I knew it. I was trying to think that. Yeah, I was trying to go by the law of we see one vanilla Robot Master, we'll see another one. And I couldn't remember who was left. So we know who's going to be our last Robot Master. Who's going to be in Crash? Because I did not see who was in Air.
We found Crash in Air.
Oh. Well, I was not paying attention, clearly.
I want to say that Lee's Woodman left.
No, if that's the case, then you're right. No, you don't want to put it that high, because you're just going to get knocked off by another Batonton. Unless you're making jumps like that.
So making use of that item 2 to pretty decent effect, making sure it was high enough to jump over those bats and not get hit right before the end. Ewok's about to get themselves another go at Bubble. Yeah, probably just go ahead and take that, but it looks like Air was pretty efficient on Bubble.
It's efficient enough that it goes up and it will hit him as he's over top of him. I mean, you could always try Flash. Oh, there we go. Bubble on bubble balance.
Just continue to play keep away, and there we go. Bubble down on Ewok's in. Another notch on the belt.
Alright, and so Arispici is taking on Crash Man in Airman's room. And Mad Ewokherd's gonna go into Crash. And we see one Hermit Crab, but we don't see other enemies, so gotta be cautious going up this ladder climb. Could just be a good, nice, clear climb, but we'll see in a moment.
Of course, we know that Ari is going to be following suit, if only because this is his last Robot Master. So once again, Ari's just keeping at least a one Robot Master advantage over Ewok. Oh, the Frost is just pretty much gatekeeping Ari after he getting top of there we go, taking it a little slow so he can get on top of that ladder. But honestly, this is going to be really interesting. Because this gives another tell, actually. just like the first screen in Crash that shows the enemies in these moving platform rooms, there's a particular spot in the pre-vertical climb of the ladder that Ewok's gonna be coming into in a few screens. I think we're gonna have a frog sighting.
Yeah, as you notice, not only was that item 1 stationary, but it is not going to stay on screen long, so they got to be quick on those item 1s.
And there it is.
Yep. That's one flash, or you can use item 3 to propel yourself up, and then you can use the iframes to get you through. Another reason why you kind of want to come, if you're going to do zipless strats in the rando, you kind of want to come to Crash last, so then you can have either a vertical weapon shooting up or flash, pretty much.
Ewok taking a slow climb up. Not quite using the item 3. Probably not used to using the item 3, but then again, probably also worried about something just knocking them off the ladder as well, so...
Well, if you place the item 3 right, you can always just land right on it.
And of course, Ari doing exactly what we're talking about, just trying to use the item 3 and make the vertical crash climb a little bit faster. Just a little bit.
What is this track? I don't know this track.
I'm pretty sure this is one of the Legendary Wings theme. It's one of the stages. I probably want to say it was stage 2 or 3.
Yeah, because it's a very... even for a game like Legendary Wings, it's very peaceful. Alright, so we got Woodman and Crash Room. And we're gonna go weapon hunting on Ari's side, and maybe not leave shield on wood, not wood on wood. Maybe not. I don't know.
Well,
But Ari made it work.
Yeah, it was a soft weakness, so pretty much a good end on Arziness. He's the first one to go to our Wally stage, so you know what it is with the best eyebrows in video gaming. It's time for everyone to do what we usually do best when we get to this point. We got a guessing game, everyone. So for those that are not aware, the Mega Dragon has the randomized color and the randomized weakness. It is up to you, the viewer, to of course guess that Mega Dragon color, and for those lovely extra credit points, guess the weakness as well. I think I'll be a little proactive and start us off, and we're gonna start with a traditional green dragon, and for the weakness we're gonna say it's gonna be Leaf Shield.
I don't know if anyone's done this in this tournament yet, but I feel like it's tradition and it kind of has to be used. So we're gonna see ourselves a Blue Eyes White Dragon. And as far as weaknesses, Buster.
Ewok almost made it to the end of this stretch of Heatman stage, but unfortunately just getting caught up by the birds. And tactical game over? Yep, tactical game over, just to hopefully get themselves composed, fresh set of eyes, fresh mindset, and hopefully just get right through it, because there's still time that Ewok can make up if Ari, because Ari has been a little sloppy in this seed, and there's still a lot of stages to go.
Yeah, alright, let's see how Ari handles this section here with this very quick item 1. Oof.
Actually, I want to point out what madewokherd's doing. Madewokherd made a very conscious play, knowing that there are birds in this stretch. He actually decided to turn to the left, to make it spawn on the left side, and as a result, because the eggs actually take up sprite space, the small little birds wind up preventing peepees to spawn. So Ewok had a very safe stretch towards the middle of Heatman stage, so a very heads-up play on Ewok's end as Ari's about to face the dragon.
Oof.
Well, the one time I would have called for a gray dragon.
No, do I get credit for white?
But looks like we got a quick boomerang weakness.
If it hits.
Yeah, the quick boomerang trajectories is a little weird. We don't know why it kind of just phased through the hitbox, but every so often, depending on distance in the second trajectory of the movement pattern, since the movement of the quick boomerang is randomized, for some reason it just passes through a enemy. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I had that problem last night in my practice runs. I know madewokherd just used a bunch of weapons, and I think by default, if I'm looking at his menu, it's metal that hasn't been used on the walls yet. And already taking a juice box break here to do some wall hunting. Oh, I thought it was metal. It's either that weird quick or it's bubble. And I know I was watching madewokherd use bubble.
It's bubble. Literally the worst wall weakness because of the weird collision properties that the bubbles have with these crash walls. Is definitely not one you ever would like to find, especially for blue beam. It makes trying to knock down those walls all the more irritating. Speaking of irritating, we got some low-hanging blockies in this low ceiling. Fortunately, using the crash bombs to some very effective use.
Yeah, it's definitely Crash is definitely one of the better weapons I like using against blockies, especially for that particular section, because even if it doesn't destroy it, the blockhead would just zip out of the way.
All right,
madewokherd does finish Heat Man, and he is moving on to Wily Castle stages, as Ari's about to take on our toasters.
Two stages behind, basically. It's still in striking distance, but it's gonna still take some more Ari shenanigans in order to kind of even
I love this 1-to-1 bubble. I'll take that.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, that actually will be a vanilla weakness. Because normally bubble will one-shot these
Also, Ari should consider taking a juice box unless he's going to be very careful about this. All right, I'll be quiet now.
It always strikes everyone when they get a little overconfident in their ability to kill Pico, and when get overconfident, that's usually when it strikes with a very nasty death.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but Pico hits like a truck, and that's the part that was concerning me with his low health.
So in the surprisingly crystal blue waters of the septic system in Wily 3...
Oh, it's because we got Scuba Joes. But yeah, as you can see in this section, we also still have Game Boy Color type sprites, which is interesting because you get them here and we get them in that section in Woodman stage, which is very interesting.
Ari's successfully navigating the spike drop. One of the things we hadn't really talked about is some of the improvements that version 0.6 has done, and of course one of those additions and improvements is actually no lag in water. So areas like that spike drop can actually be a little bit more perilous because you don't have the lag to kind of slow you down and help your vision and timing or whatever have you if you're used to the lag. But we got a Gus Tank sighting, and it's a Buster Week 1.
Shout out to Kami-sama.
Meanwhile, Ewoks about to get themselves close to the Mega Dragon. Right now, we know Quick is one of the weaknesses, but we still have yet to find the other.
Looks like he's on page 2. Crash. Let's see. Well, he probably doesn't know, but you can shoot that dragon in the belly and the explosion will pretty much take care of him. But Maddie Walker does take care of the dragon altogether.
And looking on Ari's side, it was a pretty decent blast range, well, blast duration. When you get a crash bomb and with a good explosion duration and get a crash free dragon, the health can potentially just eat up by the frame. It's a very good weakness if you know how to do it properly. Speaking of trying to do things properly, Ari trying to do the vertical wrap with item 3, just not getting a good placement, and now his item 3 ammo is pretty much just low enough that it's not even worth bothering anymore.
Yeah, kind of want to keep. Yeah, I'm more of a proponent of trying to keep as much of your item energy throughout the Wily stage as you can, because right here is where, and with that item 1, that's pretty much what I would do in this section. You want to keep an eye on what your items are, so you know what you're doing. More specifically, I'd like to have item 2 still available to me when I get to the third screen of our anxiety rooms here. And let's see what we got. We got Shotman. That's no bueno.
I would like to say there are worse enemies that'd be in the way, but Shotman is probably one of those middling ranges of annoyance when it comes to these anxiety rooms.
Probably number 3 on my list. Rabbits being 1, Chanky Makers being 2. Oh, and this is exactly what I'm talking about with item 2, right here.
Fortunately, the Shotman was in a particular shooting in a particular way that Ari wasn't going to get sniped out of the item 2, so Ari was able to make a clean flight and continue on from there.
And we got chickens in the home stretch towards Boo Beams. That's not Buster, Ari, that's Flash.
Okay, so to recap, we know that Bubble is the weakness for the walls, but thanks to that, that leaves pretty much our god weaknesses available for Boo Beam. And like clockwork, Ari's pretty much going to just start with metal to see if it's available. And
yep. Not a spammy metal. I'm imagining he's mashing, but it's just not coming out quickly.
Ewok finding themselves the bubble weakness for Pico. Of course, not going to get off that sucker anytime soon.
And there we go. Boo Beam's down. As Arispici is going to go into refights, and we'll get our 1 track, but we won't hear it just yet because we're not using Ari's sound for this seed.
Yeah, for those that are wondering why we hadn't changed to Ari, because we usually change to person that is in the lead for their audio. Unfortunately, Ari's audio has been deemed not usable, so we're sticking with Ewok for the remainder of the race.
So while Ari is dealing with this, once again, I want to thank SpeedGaming for allowing us to put on this tournament this year, and we would like to encourage people to donate towards Save the Children, Feed the Children. I keep getting them screwed up. Pretty much donate to our cause this year on Tiltify, where you can, if you feel inclined, to donate to the cause. And also, we got a matcherino for a grand prize for these tournaments, including the non-qualifier here. Well, the winner of the non-qualifier will get a piece of that pie. Also, as far as matches are concerned for the schedule for the tournament, tomorrow night gonna be a doubleheader. And it's at 7 p.m. We got Ren Hero versus 2% Chungus in a losers bracket match. And then at 10 p.m. we got the winners final featuring Casual Tom and some guy that's in the booth.
My boy SB is gonna be duking out with Tom in their winners final match for a chance to get into the grand finals. So yeah, SB is gonna have a time tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do against Tom. Also, I'm still trying to figure out what Tom's gonna do against me. I still haven't figured that out. So I've been trying to prepare in many ways, but we're not trying to focus on that. We got to focus on our runners here, as Ari is pretty much more than halfway done with his refights, as he's on Quick Man now.
Yeah, this has got one more and a wallet machine to take out. Gonna find out if it's gonna be. We got a surprisingly decent number of Buster Immune machines this tournament around for a change. Hopefully, it could be one of those. Ewok needs all the help they can get to try to have a chance to close the gap. But yeah, at this point, it's pretty much Ari's race to lose at this point.
Yeah, this is what I would do with the Huggles, whether I have wood or metals. I would just say, come on, I'm just going to mash against you and be done with it.
Alright, so here we go. Our machine siding. Is it? Oh!
Oh, not tonight!
So we're going to have ourselves a bit of a weapons dig. So the thing about the Wallet Machine, when it is actually immune to the Buster, it has a set number of weaknesses per phase. However, in between phases, one is going to be locked out and vice versa for the first phase. So what may work for the first phase might not work for the second. And of course, what might have been working for the second phase probably not going to work for the first.
So we do have Bubble for the first phase, and I'm surprised Ari's not mashing as much as he can. It's not a matchable bubble, looks like, but, you know, even when it hits, he can still follow it right up because it's not on screen, taking up a sprite. And it's not metal, how about Crash? Nope, not the sweet spot for the Crash. Gotta take that last juice box. Oh, there we go, Air.
Air pretty much straight up ripped it to shreds.
Yeah, Air is one of those where you really hope it is, because Air doesn't care about iframes.
Alright, so we got Ari heading down victory road, just one alien battle away before getting his victory and being the winner of our non-qualifier tournament. Deciding to go to the left to refill on some very low weapon energy.
Yeah, and madewokherd got pelted by one of the shotmen, but pause buffered at the right moment so he could grab the ladder. See who takes the vanilla way. Oh, he pulls out the item too. And pause buffer to victory! There we go.
And with one alien fire remaining, Ari stares into the eyes of victory. Let's see what the weakness is going to be. The alien only has one weakness to be found. It's not metal, it's not Crash, so back to the first page.
Ew, it's that quick boomerang.
You should be fine. But as long as you're close range, you're pretty much just going to get a pretty handy, quick, and free kill.
Yep, and down it goes, and with that, Arispici wins the non-qualifier tournament with an official SRL time of 39:53.
GG's to Ari. Got himself a little tournament title under his hat now. Meanwhile, Ewok is digging through the weaknesses. Finally finds that godlike metal. Tried to do the pause buffer to get rid of some damage. But Ewok should have enough to tank the remaining two Pika. I mean, not Pikas, but boobies. So let's see if we can try to get Ari in here for a brief post-match interview here, as Ewok destroys boobies and now is on their way to the refights, which is actually a pretty good pace for Ewok. Shoutouts to Ewok making pretty steady improvements as they entered the randomizer pretty much raw and just made pretty steady leaps and bounds, working with actually some interesting hand issues, because Ewok is not a big masher and still able to keep pace.
Yeah, so kudos to madewokherd for pushing through like he is. And speaking of people pushing through, we got a ding ding in chat, and it sounds like we got an Arispici in our room here. It was muted, by the way.
Oh yeah, I know. Hi.
Okay, I wanted to make sure you knew, because I could see it, and you could have been talking and not paying attention.
Holy crap, that seed, though.
Yep, I was glad it was you two and not me.
Right? Man.
But yeah, first and foremost, congratulations. You are now the official winner of this non-qualifier tournament. You got yourself a first tournament victory. How does it feel, Ari?
I mean, it feels amazing. It feels so good. Like, I've been working really hard at this, so I'm really glad that I was able to make it happen. Like, I'm all smiles right now. After the dread of that seed wore off, now I'm all smiles.
Yeah, the seed pretty much dealt a number with you and Ewok, especially the mass multitude of fan fiends that were just littered, just all over the place in this seed.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, they wanted to come out and cheer me on. I mean, some of my biggest fans.
And why? I shouldn't be surprised that you make a pun like that.
Oh, don't worry, I was about to jump on that, but you know what? I'm gonna leave it be.
Alright, so pretty much go through the seed, Ari, because this was a seed where things just kind of went really, really ugly right from the get-go in Quickman stage, where a couple of deaths were just littered right in your way, especially with some of those Buster mutant blockies. And just go through the seed with us.
Well, I mean, off to a great start. Man, that Quickman, the enemy set in there was just, it's so god-awful. Like, there's like no way that you can get around that Mecha Joe on the second beam screen, like, at all, unless you have anything besides Buster, so I just had to take the hit from it. And then I saw the blockies coming up, and, like, I just took one shot, they didn't explode, I'm like, alright, fine, guess we're doing this. There wasn't anything you could do about it, and it was either take the death or wait for it to just slowly crawl my way and kill me anyways. So that was fun. Luckily there were some, you know, other enemies in the stage where I could get some health pickups and stuff, but man, you know, taking, what was it? It was a continue on the first one, right?
You continued on Bubble Man, which was your third.
Ah, okay, yeah. I don't know, it's all a blur right now, it was kind of a mess. Yeah, so, Bubble Man, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the double spawning shrimp on the last screen.
Yeah, it's funny because I was talking about that on the screen. It's like he's not going to be paying attention to the double spawning shrimp at all.
Yeah, yep. And I had nailed the zip there, and then I'm like, alright, fine. And then you take one of the worst deaths in the entire randomizer. It's great.
Well, it could have been shrimp there. It could have been shotman on the platform in the middle of that section. But hey, either way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I was getting into my head, like, just go fast, gotta go fast, go Sonic speed, and didn't even expect the second shrimp to come and hit me. Like, Shotman, I could at least pause buffer around a little bit. But
shrimp, you kind of got to wait on.
Yeah. But, I mean, there was that, then, you know, the kind of getting a little tilted going to the Heatman stage. I was actually surprised there wasn't more Fat Fiends in the first screen. Usually with that enemy set, I was expecting to see them all up in the little hamburger spawns, but at least that wasn't too bad, even though there were birds. I just could not get the item 3 down on the Heatman zip, though, for some reason. I don't know if it had something to do with weird mechanics because of the Fat Fiends or not, because I've never seen that before. Because sometimes they behave a little weird on items when Fat Fiends are involved. Or not items, but in certain spots. Like the elevators in Crash Man. But man, all in all, this seed was kind of trash. I'm just glad I was able to power through it.
Speaking of powering through, Ewok just narrowly escaping death at the jaws of the Wallow Machine, who was one of the rare Buster Immune Wallow Machines. Tell me how you feel when you find out that little surprise of all surprises, Ari.
Well, the first thing that I thought was, I'm glad I stopped and checked the wall weakness in Wily 2. So I got that extra E-Tank, because I absolutely needed it. And then I was trying to figure out, like, going through, okay, what could it possibly be? And then finding it's, like, in a pretty heavy ammo consumption bubble. It's like, okay, that sucks. That sucks. I probably could have hunted for some other things, but I knew everything else kind of had pretty high ammo consumption.
Well, interestingly enough, I know you used Crash on the first phase of the machine, but apparently it did work.
It did?
Yeah, and because it was the explosion, but I just saw Matt Ewok's screen that it did work on the machine.
Okay. It's weird, I must have placed it wrong then. I don't know, there were some weird things happening in the C2, like the hitbox for Quick Boomerang was really off.
Yeah, don't worry, I had that happen to me last night. So I feel your pain in that sense, but continue.
Yeah, I mean, that's all there really was to that, though. Like, man, it was a seed that you see every once in a while, but you hate to see it in a race.
Yeah, that's why I was glad you two ran this and not me, even though I would hope maybe you get to see it, but, maybe all the misfortune would happen to Tom, but, that's tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, here's hoping. Well, here's hoping for a good race in general. Let's just say that.
Not to argue too, but Ewok just a few pips away from being the alien. Gets up a pretty solid time over here. Just make sure not to make this final hit. There we go. Ewok finishing with an official time of 48-34. Got himself pretty much just a solid overall performance from Ewok, as they pretty much got as far as SRL goes, a pretty huge race PB. Pretty much an 11-minute improvement. 12-minute improvement.
That's crazy. When you see improvements like that from race to race, especially when you're dealing with something as challenging as a seed like this, like, definitely something to look out for in the future, especially next year if they decide to participate. Because that's some exponential growth right there, so big GG's to them.
Let's see if we can get madewokherd in here.
Yeah, I really want to get their thoughts on what we just went through.
And here we go. The person themselves, Ewok, congratulations on fishing this seed. How you feeling about it?
Well, I feel like, especially towards the beginning, I didn't play very well, but it's also a PB, so I guess I played better than I ever did before.
Trust me,
Yeah.
you and me both in the beginning.
Yeah, we were just talking about it on Ari, because both y'all just pretty much got the mess beat out of y'all on Quickman stage. The Joes, the Blockies, just pretty much everything for a first stage to start off with. Yeah, not one of the best things that any race would like to see on the very first robot match to go through.
Yeah. I like know a lot of stuff went wrong, but it's hard for me to remember what actually happened after the run finishes. I kind of I guess tune it all out as I'm going, so
Yeah, to
Well-
be fair, also with this seed, it was a complete blur for me. Like, I died a lot. I got 2 continues. It was a mess. I don't even remember where they happened, but I do remember that they happened.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so Bubble Man. Yeah, but Bubble Man was a problem for me. I died on that and didn't come back to it until like 4 stages later, and then thankfully it had a bubble weakness.
Oh yeah, because of the Huggles. It was not the worst Huggles you can get, but nobody likes hugs. Not from Bubble Man, at least.
Yeah, I had some bad deaths on Heat Stage, which were like trying to damage tank on a 1 tile and then not being at quite the right place, so you get knocked into the pit.
Yeah. I'm actually really interested to see the race back after this, just to see the side-by-side and see, you know, how you handled certain situations that I struggled with and vice versa.
Regardless of what the seed dealt, both of y'all handled it as best as y'all could. And of course, Ewok, congratulations. You might have been second, but that still puts you second place in this non-qualifier tournament. How you feel about getting as far as you have?
I hate to say this, I don't feel like I deserved it, because I only had to play 1 game to get here and win 1 game. Which, to be fair, I did work at that, but still, like...
Well, that's what happens when it comes to the tournament. I mean, luck of the draw.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, the match that you did get through to win your race, you still play solidly in that match. So we're not going to completely say that you didn't earn it. You definitely earned the right to get to this point by just simply playing a clean game. So, and of course, watching you improve throughout the entire tournament, and of course, watching some of your practice, you definitely have made some major strides adjusting to your own limitations and still managing to hold your own.
Oh, actually, something I just realized. So I was planning to route out an E-tank, and I waited until the last minute and couldn't figure out how to do it, so I didn't, and I ended up using all of my E-tanks, so I don't feel great about that.
Well, I mean, they're there for you to use. I mean, I was out of E-tanks at the end. That Wily machine really got me.
Yeah, oh man, that was clutch. I barely got through that after using the E-tank, because I was... The weapon I was hoping would be a weakness in Phase 2 wasn't, so I had to go hunting.
Actually, speaking of clutch, I want to talk about that one particular Metal Man pause buffer in that stage where there was a fan feed right in front of your face. I gotta know what was going through your mind when you were pretty much pausing for your life.
I don't even, I remember there was a stage where it was like, I'm paused, there's a fan fiend. I don't even know if it's possible to get over there, but I don't remember what stage that was. I only remember seeing me and the platform.
Yeah, that was 100% metal with the traditional...
I don't even know how I managed to pull that through.
Well, if you want to talk about a clutch moment of all clutch moments, that was definitely it, because that is a very, very hard pause buffer to try to get at that low of a height with a fan fiend just blowing straight at your face. So that is major kudos to you, Ewok.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that back to see, how did I end up in that situation, and how can I not do that in the future?
Yeah, when you have Fat Fiends on that screen, I just always expect that there's gonna be one there. Expect the worst, prepare for... What is it? Expect the worst, hope for the
Prepare
best.
this.
Yeah.
That's sorry, I just stepped away here. I'm not sure if you brought it up yet, Creed, but Ari, you almost made a mistake in Heatman stage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that definitely needs to be brought up. You can take that one, Siberian.
So, do you know what mistake I'm talking about?
I'm fairly certain I do.
Try to use item 3 with fan fiends in the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a potential soft lock.
I did not know that. I'm glad it didn't work.
We're glad it didn't work, because we were gonna have to have a strong conversation about you making poor choices.
Was that for a zip? I can't think of why you would use item 3 in that stage.
Yeah, it's for the zip. The Heatman zip.
I should learn those someday.
Yeah, basically you can use item 1 since item 1 can be available for heat, but most of the time is you have item 3 available, and immediately after
item 1 was stationary in this seed, so
it was stationary and it didn't want to stay on screen for long.
Yeah, we could talk about that too. That's another great feature of the seed.
Yeah, that didn't bother me too much. Usually, the thing that was going to worry me is whether or not you were going to have more shotmen in anxiety rooms, but you didn't. So it ended up working out.
Yeah, I typically do item 2 across there. So shotman, if I actually do it properly and make that jump, like when the bullets come in my way. I mean, I've dealt with that before, so I was like, it's probably gonna be fine as long as I execute it, but it ended up being okay in the long run.
Yeah, I don't think I've dealt with that before, and I think that actually worked out for me, and that's cool. I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's one thing that I can say, like, at least anxiety rooms weren't that bad.
But yeah, like, somehow, like, the arc changed right as I got across, and I don't know if I somehow planned that or if that just worked.
Yeah, it's after 3 shots, it changes its arc.
So I guess if you did it, like, quickly, it would probably work?
Yeah,
I think if you try to do that quickly, you'll probably wind up having a higher chance of actually getting shot and knocked off, because you're still going to be in the trajectory of the lower arcing shots as opposed to the higher ones, which probably is much safer. So honestly, the fact that you were able to at least set it up to a degree that you can get it to the higher arcing shots was very fortunate.
That might have been a matter of me just not being very good at it and doing it slowly. I'm not sure what happened.
Well, you got through it nonetheless. And GG's. Thank you so much for the race. Like, that's a good time for one.
The tournament.
Of course. Man, getting a PB on a seed like that, that's very, very solid.
Well, it was also dumb luck because I should not have had that many E-tanks.
Fair, but if you know it's going poorly, just play it safe. Backup strats.
Well, if anyone else has anything else to add on or say, I think it's pretty much time for us to conclude at least this side of the Mega Man 2 Randomizer tournament. So, any last words for you two, Ari and Ewok, before we begin to close out?
Yeah, won! Woo! But I want to say a big thank you to both you, LV Creed, and Siberian Bull for doing the comms today, as well as SpeedGaming for allowing us to put this on as always. It's really cool. I also want to thank everybody who joined to watch today. It means the world to us as a community, and it's so much fun to be able to put this on for y'all. And stay tuned for the other bracket, the finishing races and that.
Any final word?
Thank you to all of those people, and also Charlie Boy for running the tournament. It was a lot of fun, and I hope I can do it again next year.
Once again, congratulations to our grand finalists. You heard Ewok taking second place in the tournament, and of course Ari being our grand finisher, first place in this non-qualifier tournament, and that pretty much concludes that. Of course, we did have a third place match all set up, but unfortunately, one of our runners had a IRL issue and opted to not complete the rest of the tournament. So officially, third place goes to Sinister Sama. So also shout outs to Sinister Sama, who was one of our competitors there, as he gets his third place finish as well. So with that, that pretty much concludes the non-qualifier tournaments. So stay tuned to the Speed Gaming Network of Twitch channels, as we're gonna continue on for the rest of the tournament with the main bracket. We told you about the schedule a little bit earlier, but it always helps to go through it again. So tomorrow we do indeed have a double header. Starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, we got Ren Hero versus 2% Chungus in our first round losers match, a win or go home situation for these two. And of course, a few hours later at 10 p.m. Eastern, we got Casual Tom going against my co-commentator Siberian Bull 9 in a winners finals match for a right to go to the grand finals. And of course, we heard Siberian Bull's thoughts about that, but would you like to make a repeat of what you're thinking right now, SB? SB. Well, apparently he's speechless for words, or just pretty much in complete meditative thought for the upcoming race. But seriously, very good. Proud to go ahead and call it here. So once again, thanks to our participating runners in this non-qual. For my co-commentator Siberian Bull, thank him for joining me and helping me with the commentary. We did our own tracking, so unfortunately we can't shout out a tracker this time around. But of course, stay tuned for the Speed Gaming Never Challenge for those two matches, and for everyone else, Charlie Bull for being the organizer, Duckfist for being the primary and originating creator of the randomizer, Squidman, Daggett, and of course our second place runner Ewok for being one of the main mover and shakers to pushing this new version of the randomizer out. And this is your boy LV Cree saying everyone have a good rest of the evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you may be, and stay tuned for more Mega Man 2 randomizer action as it comes. So take care, everyone. Have a good day.